Well, here we are again, always sitting in our virtual studios for radio entrepreneurs. My name is Jeffrey Davis. I am the host, also CEO, Chairman, Mage, LLC management consulting firm, working with leaderships and organizations in transition. Our next guest, returning guest, although not the guest that I've ever met. Somebody else was standing in that day. Alexis Avila, I think that's your name, founder and
Yeah,
CEO
Jeffrey.
of Prepped and Polished. Wow. Those sound like my old shoes from business.
Yeah, I get are you a nail salon? Quite a bit, but no, we do tutoring. So
Well,
yeah.
I used to work for a long time ago, very long time ago in another world. I used to work for a division of Johnson and Johnson, and if we didn't have our shoes prepped and polished, we might lose our job.
That's important. Absolutely.
I'm not that way anymore. Uh, so why don't we even for those who haven't seen our initial interview, why don't you tell us again about prepped and polished?
Sure. So I started Prepped and Polished 20 years ago. And I think the last time we did this interview was about 10 years ago. So I'm another 10 years in. And I haven't looked back. We do tutoring, we do test preparation, executive function coaching, and then admissions consulting will be our
For,
newest endeavor.
for young people.
Yeah, so we go kindergarten all the way to college. If you have a tutoring need, um, I have like my niece is in U Michigan, and we're tutoring her tonight in chemistry. So it's really like just any tutoring need that you have that's one to one. That's what we do worldwide. I'm in Wellesley, Massachusetts. We have three offices, so we're really known local on the scene, but we can jump online via Zoom, like and tutor. So
Well, I think
um,
the world has changed a lot. Again,
yeah.
I know who you met with originally. When I was a kid, and I made a very conscious decision to not participate in school, uh, they used to put me on a bus, and I used to commute across the city to get tutoring as a kid twice a week. Times have changed, haven't they?
Oh, quite a bit. Yeah, that was a grind. You can just jump online now, no bus needed, and then you just see your tutor on the other end of the screen. Um,
Yeah, but they
I
couldn't
mean,
bribe me with chocolate milk.
no. Well, I'm sure they bribed you in some other way. We got candy here at my office, but um, like I always tell people, one to one works when it comes to learning and teaching. Big classroom sizes, you get a little bit lost, and that's been my mainstay. It's kind of what has allowed me to keep doing what I'm doing. You know, um, as I mentioned in our last interview, I'm a guidance counselor. I did it for a couple of years. I really did not like the job. It's not what I signed up for. I thought I was going to be helping kids one to one, and it ended up that I was just like helping with scheduling and doing stuff I didn't really want. I wanted to help kids feel good about themselves in school. School is really hard, and not everybody is just like it comes easily to them. It didn't come easily to me. I had to work really hard. I had to find a good role model. So good tutor could make a huge difference in your life. And it's a really good job. I'm really happy with what I do. It's
Uh, you know,
gratifying.
I can't argue with you because, we started this business in 1985, and
Whew.
the
It doesn't show.
original partner, who was a world famous family therapist, started designing our methodology in 1983, but it really started a long time before that. And we were the first organization we thought to do individual coaching because we believed in organizations, because we believed that was the real change element in getting people to really be motivated, understand them, and customize their learning and development. And so we've really worked on our methodology at another end of the spectrum that you do. So I'm a convert to what you
Wow.
do. I wish I would have had more coaching as a kid. And I think what made the situation unique to
100%.
me, I'll just personalize it, which is appeals to you, is not that I didn't need to learn the school things. It's that the way I learned was unique, and I needed somebody who could adapt and teach me how to deal with that.
to your style for sure. Yeah, and we do online, but when we do in person, personally, I'm a little older school. I like the in-person connection, but like I tell people, like if you're online doing one-to-one, it's better than a group in person. So I'm sure that you get a lot of gratification doing what you do online as well, now that times have changed. But
Well, it's funny. A lot of people find it easier to do Zoom. It's less disruptive to their life, and
yeah,
that's very that works for me as long as I can show up and be prepared and the person's engaged. And I'm sure it's not the one thing that's different, maybe a little different for me than you, and I'm using it to educate our listeners, is that I'm useless unless I have a motivated adult, and maybe you have more influence over and factors that you can leverage over a younger person.
yeah, I mean, wisdom and knowledge of academic subject, of course, are those things.
Yeah, but
Um,
the expectations, the power, uh, you
yeah,
know, a lot of adults forget how to learn. A lot of children don't know how to learn, but a lot of adults forget how to learn. So I'm a
yeah.
big fan of what you do. Uh, how big can you grow and still maintain high quality?
Well, I might have to seek your coaching services to get that answer, but I don't have an MBA. Everything I've learned is just from the street, making mistakes. I have 50 tutors now.
Wow.
It used to be little itty bitty me. Driving to the Cape Cod for a 2 3 hour tutoring session. I made sure the client billed I could bill for 3 hours. That was my minimum, but I drove 3 hours back and forth. So now I have 50 tutors. Can it go to 100 tutors? I think so, because I mean, our offices are empty. I don't see why we can't fill up our spaces. Um, there's tutors all over the US that we can pair with online, 7 days in a week. So I think that I have three offices, and personally, I one's in Wellesley, one's in Newton, one's in Sudbury. Those commutes and just making sure that the trash is clean, everything, the whiteboards are like immaculate. I'm not stressed out going to those three offices, but I have friends who have like 6 7 offices. They get a little bit burnt out. I don't really want to go down to Norwood, you know, or up North Shore and get stuck in traffic. So it's really like a lifestyle that I'm trying to build for myself. And it just seems to be my sweet spot is 3 or 4 offices where I can kind of commute about 15 minutes coupled with online tutoring. So, yeah,
Well, if you're stressed, you're not going to be able to deliver a high quality service. But
yeah,
uh,
yeah, for sure.
what qualifies as a young person's coach?
Uh, Look for a college graduate um, at a minimum. Ideally someone with a little bit more schooling than college, like maybe a master's degree, getting a PhD, or with college degree with tutoring experience. Um, Now, I, I'm not going to say that you have to go to Harvard to be a good tutor. My best tutor went to UMass Lowell, and he is the most popular math tutor you'll ever meet. And I've had interviews with Yale graduates, and they couldn't even explain concepts or relate with students. So I'm not like the college where you went to college snob. I'm really about personality, somebody who can connect with a student, but somebody who went to college, kind of went through the rigors of that process, and has the authority where he can kind of have a little bit of respect in the classroom. So
Interesting.
that's kind of what I look for.
So I guess quality control, standardization is really the key for you. Uh,
Yeah, and then test prep, you got to have done well on your SAT. So if you can get like a 700 plus on any given section, you're typically qualified to teach well on that section, provided that we train you. So yeah, so absolutely, just like that kind of experience.
and my last question, do you think technology is
Sure.
going to change your business a lot in the next few years?
Yeah, and I've seen it already. So a lot of my competitors and friends who have tutoring companies have gone completely online. 100%. They've gotten rid of all of their real estate and storefronts and offices, and they're living where they want to live. And they're moving to the Austin, Texases of the world, the Nashvilles, or California, where they want to live, and then they tutor through the comfort of their own home. I'm trying to kind of maintain the hold the fort and keep my offices going, because I really like to see students see their smile, see their body posture, and just there's nothing that can beat that one-to-one interaction. But yeah, my industry is pivoting where you can kind of go online or you can go in person for sure.
Same as my business, because I used to have four
Yeah,
offices similar to you. I used to either have clients come visit me or I would be visiting clients every day, and my partner as well. And
yeah.
not anymore. It's not the same. And I actually think it lets me have
Wow.
fatigue and be more focused in on the content of
Well,
the
that's
work.
great.
So, uh, it's really exciting for me to talk with you. I feel like we're walking down similar highways a different way.
Really
But
easy. Yeah, it's
if
nice.
somebody's looking for more information about you at Prepped and Polished, how would they find you?
Super easy. Just go to preppedandpolished.com, and then you'll see a big face saying, "Hi, how can I help you?" And just put your question in there, and we'll be happy to talk to you.
That's
Preppedandpolished.com.
that's great. And I want to thank you for being on Radio Entrepreneurs. I don't think it was 10 years,
Yeah.
but let me put it to you this way. I don't want to wait another 10 years. I thought it was 5 years. I
You
don't think it
got
was
it.
10 years. And let's
I'll
get
call you
back
tomorrow.
again because I think what you're doing is a very valuable effort for students. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate your time. Love coming on your show.
Great.
Thank you.
This is Radio Entrepreneurs.